Yeah, g'day everybody, it's Roberto here from Veneria Wood-Fired Ovens in Melbourne, Australia. Just thought I'd share a new dough recipe. I got this dough recipe from a guy on YouTube called Marco Cappiotti. It's quite simple and easy. It's a Polish based recipe, and in this recipe I mixed it by machine, and I just got the best results I've ever got for some reason. So whether it was the recipe or the machine, could have been a combination of the two, I'm not sure. I cooked it in the Alfa gas oven, and it was, for me, the softest, best pizza dough I've made to date. So I'm going to show you how to make this dough, and then we'll cook one up. This pizza has a huge crust on it. Some people think, why such these big crusts? And I've often said the same thing, why have such a big crust? But this pizza had a really big crust, but I'll show you at the end of the video. If you wait till the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I ate this pizza. If others have done it, please leave a comment below. But it is a great way to eat a pizza and entertain your guests. Actually, it's quite a great way of topping off a pizza night, just to make it a little bit more interesting than just simply eating the pizza. So yeah, please look towards the end. But for now, quickly just make a Polish. And in this Polish recipe, it's, as per all Polish recipes, 50-50 basically. So it's 425 grams of water. Mils or grams doesn't really matter, but if you wanted to be precise, because we've weighed the dough, I've weighed the water, it's about 440 mils. But the 425 grams of water goes in here, and then I've got 425 grams of 00 flour. I use the Caputo Pizzeria 00 flour, and about 1.5 grams of instant dry yeast. And I'm just going to throw that in here. 1.5 grams is very hard to weigh. It's just under half a teaspoon of instant dry yeast. So I'm going to just throw everything inside the water here. Now the difference between instant dry yeast and active yeast is not a lot. Instant dry yeast you can add directly to your flour, just dry, whereas an active dry yeast you have to activate it basically. I'm just going to try to mix this together, just whisk it together until you get a porridge type consistency. It's a very wet Polish. So I'm just putting it in a small container. I'm just going to whisk that away. And so keep mixing this up till you've got a really good consistency. Just a couple of minutes, it's not a lot of effort. You've got a beautiful, that's all well combined. We'll put a lid on that. We'll put that, we'll let that rest out here for a little while, and we'll put that in the fridge for 18 to 24 hours, give or take, and then we'll be back tomorrow and we'll make the dough. And that's really all for today. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so it's been 24 hours since I made the Polish. Got the Polish out of the fridge. That's come up nicely. Have a look at that. So now we're going to make the dough. So we're going to get all our Polish and we're going to put it into the bowl of our machine. Beautiful. So we've put our Polish into the machine. We'll close it. And we're going to start up a machine. And we're going to start it on the lowest speed. You don't want to mix dough too quickly because we'll heat the dough up. And something else I've learned, I have one of these measuring temperature things, quite expensive, that you can measure inside the dough with. But I found that with the infrared gun, it does exactly the same job. So you can just shoot this on the outside of your dough. And the idea is we want to get our dough to about 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. But we don't want to get it much hotter than that. So we've got that going on low, and we're going to add our flour. Put that in there little by little. I'm just going to keep adding our flour and let that mix. It's important we do this in the right order. Okay, so we're going to let this mix for about 10 minutes in the mixer. And then we'll increase the speed and add our salt, water, and finally the oil. Okay, so you'll see that dough's come together really nicely. And it's been almost 10 minutes and it's really come together really well. We do the first 10 minutes on low speed, which is about 90 odd revs per minute. And now we'll add the salt, the water and the olive oil, and we'll do that on the second speed, which is around about the 200 revs per minute. And slowly add some water. Make sure you give the dough time to take the water in. Now the water's been taken up, slowly add our olive oil. As I say, it's important to follow the procedure. As you can see, that dough is now ready. That's at tip 24 degrees, which is where we want it. So that's done, we'll take that out. So before I take it out of the bowl, I just want to show you something, which is the difference between me hand kneading and the machine, what I was sort of talking about yesterday. If you look at this dough, it's very, very elasticy. Very elasticy, very strong. You can almost see through that. So that, I can't get that by hand, but could be something that might be worth looking into a machine at some point. Any machine will probably do. Just a bit, get that temperature in there. When you need it, you need to work it till you get to that 24 degrees and you get this sort of finish. And because it's so wet, it's a lot easier to use in a machine. So at this point, I want to oil my hands and the bench a bit. And we're going to fold it just a few times. Very sticky. Slightly oil our bowl. We'll cover that up with a bit of Glad wrap, put it in the fridge, and we'll be back in 3 to 4 hours. Okay, 3 hours is up, and I've taken the dough out of the fridge. Bubbled up beautifully, it's starting to bubble up, it looks incredible, it's incredible. So we will put this onto our bench, and meanwhile, I saw a similar idea to this on, again, Marco Cappiotti's website. He had little containers. Great idea, we fished these out of the cupboard, they've been in there for years and years. Never had any use for them. So, slightly oil these up. And I'll make my dough balls now and put each dough ball in there. So this recipe makes 4 dough balls. Oil our hands. Oil the dough. And we'll cut this up into 4 even balls. Should be around about the 260 grams each. Sorry, 280 grams each. 4 balls at 280 grams each. They're quite oily, so they're not sticking to my hand. So, best way to fold these up, just fold it into each other like that, because it's so wet. You can't really make a ball the way we've seen in other videos. Close the air up, make sure that there's no air can't get in there, so it's nice and sealed. Make yourself a nice ball, drop that in the container, and put our lid on it. These dough balls will be ready to cook in 2 hours, or put them in the fridge for up to another 24 hours. That'll help it develop its flavours even more. I believe this dough is a 73% hydration. It's very wet, but it's not sticky at all, I think, because of the olive oil. I can probably show you here just the strength, the elasticity and strength of this dough. It's really, really good. I want to just tighten it, get a bit of a skin on top of our dough ball. Just beautiful. Into these containers. Job done. It was a great little idea. So I put them in the fridge, and if you were to use them, like say within 2 hours, you could. A great little way if you're doing small numbers to store your dough. So I'm not a pizza chef, and I don't claim to be. I sell pizza ovens, and I look for some of the best doughs and recipes out there, also for my customers. One thing I want to mention before I forget: try to weigh your products. This measuring cup, for example, the 75mm mark was actually about 100mm. So they've obviously stamped the writing too far up. So just be careful. It's always best to weigh your products if you want to get the best outcome. So when it was important when you mix this dough to follow the process. If you throw everything into one bowl and make everything at the same time, it changes the final product. So those dough balls are done, and tomorrow we'll cook them up. We'll probably take them out an hour or so beforehand and we'll cook them up. So I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so this is the Alfa ONE gas-fired oven, made in Italy. They come in this copper colour, and you can have it on natural gas or LPG. You can have it on a base. So we're gonna light this oven up. I've lit the pilot, so I'm just going to come over here. We're going to turn the burner on. That's that. And we're going to put the door on, and we're going to give this oven 40 minutes. Within 40 minutes I should have a floor temperature of 350 degrees Celsius. We'll check that with the infrared thermometer, and once we have a floor temperature of 350 degrees Celsius, we'll be ready to cook our big crusted Neapolitan style pizza. Okay, the oven's on, so I'm just going to quickly make a pizza. It's not about how to make the pizza, it's more about the dough. So I took one of these dough balls, if you can see that, has been out for about 4.5 hours, and the other one's been out of the fridge for about maybe 3 hours. So the longer you leave it out, the more it's going to puff up. But let's try the 4-hour one first. So I'm going to, well, that should hopefully pop out onto a floured bench. Beautiful. Flour the top of that. Very, very, very soft. It's important though when you're making this pizza that you push the air out into the crust. That's the way you get your big crust. Removing the excess flour. Push that air into the crust. Let's just make sure it's not sticking to your bench. And let's make a simple margarita. Then we'll go put that in the oven. Okay, so that's in our oven. So as soon as you see the base start to just form a little bit of crust, we'll start to turn that. You can see that's starting to puff up. I'll give that a few turns. Cooking away. There it is. I didn't time it, but it was only a minute, 90 seconds tops. Second pizza's gone in. This is a white pizza without any tomato sauce on the base. It's just got some fresh tomatoes, olives and anchovies with an oil base. No tomato sauce on the base. You can see this one's getting a bit more leoparding. And you'll find the colder the dough, the more leoparding you get, but not that leoparding is really a desired technical effect. There we are, pizza number 2. Big high crust. Let's go eat them. So we have here 2 big crusty pizzas. That dough was really good to work with, and you'll find the colder it is, the more leoparding you get. But as I say, technically they don't look for leoparding, they look for a nice even crust, and these are quite good. I think the 2 hours out of the fridge is perfect. So let's have a look at these crusts. If it focuses in, there's some huge crust on there. But what do we do with it? Why? You may ask. What you would do, I've made 2 vegetarian pizzas here, for example. Just a plain margarita and some tomato, olives and anchovy. So once you bake that, you've got this crust, open it up, it's extremely soft, put inside a piece of mortadella or some prosciutto, and you make yourself a little panino. Good to a bit more refreshing than the pizza. It's just a good blend. You can have any ingredients you want out there, and you make yourself a little panino. Very refreshing. Dip it in some oil with some salt or some balsamic vinegar. Instead of just making pizzas but having a pizza night, have an entertaining night. Make your vegetarian pizzas, have your different meats out there, some oils, some dipping sauces. Just another way to enjoy pizza. I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up. Salute, and I'll see you next time. Thanks from Roberto. Ciao. Beautiful crust.